Hello, hello. Listen. I want to go ahead and welcome you to another fantastic episode of the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast. I am your host, ℂ𝕒𝕒𝕏𝕚, mother, educator, host, and a plethora of other things. Listen, thank you guys for hanging in there with me because, we came on a little bit after 7 o'clock, and it's not like me, right? So I know, Alexis was getting text messages like it's 7:01. I'm getting text messages. I'm like, okay, we are coming. I promise you we are coming. And that just shows me how much love you guys have for each one of us. And we truly, truly, truly appreciate it. So thank you so much for tuning in to episode 114. That is just such a dope accomplishment. And I have to pinch myself every time I say that. So I'm just going to roll right in with it because you know that if you are here with me on this Monday, you know that you are in for a treat, okay? Because number one, I love Mondays. I want to go ahead and say happy Monday to my IG family. I want to say happy Monday to my Facebook family. Facebook, I promise you, I got y'all, okay? I got y'all. I'm not forgetting about y'all, okay? I got you, all right? So listen. There are a lot of things that are going on this weekend, but before I jump into that, I wanted to just say, this shirt explains it all. When you feel like you're going through a valley, just remember that God is good, all right? God is good all the time, all right? And I just want to thank Miss Portia White, who provided me with this shirt, and so you need to check out her line. She has a plethora of great t-shirts, a great t-shirt line that is amazing. So make sure that you look her up and you purchase a t-shirt, okay? And so this Saturday, I want to fan myself now because I'm going to be doing all of this on Saturday. Saturday, we have a plethora of events, but I want to talk to you about two particular ones that are near and dear to my heart. So first and foremost, we have the Haines City Children's Literacy Festival that's going to take place. It is going to take place in Haines City. And if you were there last year, you know that there were so many different vendors that talked about literacy strategies for your students, for your child. You know that there were so many Black authors there. There were a total amount of different types of authors, all catering to children. And you guys know how important children's literacy is. We had a drum troupe that came out, two dynamic hosts that came out. I came out to set up and I did a live interview session with the artists. There were different vendors for your children, photo booths, different food trucks that were there, and it's going to be the same thing located at Lake Eva on this Saturday. All right, so please make sure you are there. It's going to go down from 11 to 4 p.m. So make sure you have your children there. Make sure that you check out. Y'all ready for the drum roll? If I had a drum roll, I would give you a drum roll. I'm giving it to you virtually. Make sure that you check out Jack Hartman. If you are a mother or a father of toddlers, then you already know why I am excited. If you are in that teenager range or you're an adult, you're like, who? Listen, Jack Hartman has the kids on shutdown, okay? On lock, right? And have you heard of Jack Hartman?
No, that's why I looked up.
I'm going to have to show you who Jack Hartman is after this interview. I got you. I promise you I do. But he is such a sensation when it comes to children's literacy. He teaches them vowel letters, the days of the week, the days of the month. It's just, you could throw on his video and they'll just chant it back. Okay. So it's one of those personalities that the kids really, really love. So Jack Hartman is going to be there performing live. And he has albums. Girl, he's selling albums sold out albums with these kids' songs, and they absolutely love him. So Jack Hartman will be in the building, and I will be in the building too. So event number 2 is the Essence of a Woman Festival, all right, which is going to go down in Winter Haven, Florida. So it's all powered by Miss Katina Campbell. So she is the creator of this festival, and so you're going to get a lot of your gospel artists, a lot of local artists who are going to be performing, and you will also see a lot of different types of vendors. And so I want you to go out and support her event. it's going to be going down from like 1 p.m. until 8 p.m. So it is an all-day event. So after I leave the Children's Literacy Festival, I'm literally heading to New Haven to go and check out the Essence of a Woman Festival. And last but not least, I want to tell you about an election that I want you to keep your eye on. We have seats that are becoming available on the Polk County Public School Board, right? And so Mr. M.J. Wright, who is a favorite of this show, he is running for District 2's seat, all right, which really basically covers all of Haines City, the Four Corners area. And so it's about 40 schools total that his seat will be responsible for. And so if you want a credible, talented, educated candidate, if you want someone in that seat that will care about the community and care about your kids' education, I need for you to vote for MJ Wright on August 20th. All right, vote on August 20th. MJ Wright, the right choice for all. Okay, you see this lovely person next to me. Behind the scenes, she has been such a help. She has calmed my nerves. Look, she has just been so relatable, and I have enjoyed just conversing with her off camera. So I know that this is going to be such a great interview. So listen, I am with Miss Alexis, the CEO, the curator, the creator, the brains, the beauty, the voice, the skill set behind PD'OR. All right, PD'OR. Behind PD'OR. I was like, you better make sure they say it right now. I'm asking for the proper enunciation of PD'OR GLAM. And listen, you have done such an amazing job when it comes to bringing an authentic fashion show here to Polk County. I don't even want to introduce you, like, to go off of your bio. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself. Like, if you had to, you have to introduce yourself. I was going to say, if you had to introduce yourself, what you say. But this is your opportunity to introduce my audience to you.
Okay, so my name is Alexis, as she said. I am a Davenport resident now, but I did grow up in Winter Haven, Florida. I am Haitian, you know, shout out to the Zoes.
You're not gonna say "stop by say"?
No.
You're not gonna do that. She said no.
Honestly, I don't like that term.
Tell me why. First of all, what does it mean? Because we just be saying it in the clubs without even really knowing what it means.
Well, it's not really hurtful to some, it's just a slang. But because I am really focused on word, I learned like words are very important.
Right.
So they stop by say it's like, "What's up?" And then they say, "I'm not bullet." You said, "I'm burning." So
that's what that means.
That's what that means. Stop by saying.
We are all in the club saying this, like, not even knowing what we're talking about, right?
So it's like, okay, I'm burning. So what is burning? It's burning, smoking.
Okay.
Or is it like, to me, it's like, okay, Haiti is right now going through what it's going through. Right. And that's considered burning as well. I don't want to celebrate that. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. Okay. You do what you want to do. That's
being very culturally conscious. Like, I'm all about it. Because listen, we gravitate and we start saying these terms and really not even knowing what it's about. So thank you for giving me some insight on that. So DJs, y'all be careful of what y'all saying, all right?
Again, this is just me. This is not everyone, okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And I have a whole bunch of siblings. It's 9 girls, 5 boys.
Wow.
Yes, my most from my dad's side.
Okay. You know how the daddy be. I'm like, what was mama?
No. My mama got, in total, my mama had 5.
Right.
I'm currently a project manager. That's what I do. Mm-hmm. I've been working my way up to be that, to be honest. I had a vision. That's where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. And that's where I'm at right now. To where I was able to do a lot of the projects that I do that I still, honestly, because I am a perfectionist, struggle with. I did deal with depression for a long time, and it started because I was Haitian.
Really?
Yes, because Haitians back then were bullied. Mm-hmm. And I lashed out. Mm-hmm. And then people put a title on you. That's why I don't believe in calling kids bad. Yeah. And then I act on it. You said I was bad, so let me be bad. Yeah. And then that grew into me fighting, and then not understanding why I'm fighting all the time. I fought every year in school, every year, because I'm a Haitian or because I didn't speak English for a while. Mm-hmm. So it's just.
When did you come over to the U.S.?
I came when I was 4.
Okay.
I started speaking English when I was like 6 years old.
Okay.
And from there, I just grew up with defense mode, like defense mechanism, because I was being bullied.
Right.
And so through that time, having problems at school, having problems at Girls Incorporated.
Not at Girls Inc, girl. Did you have Miss K? Miss K Fields?
I probably did.
Stop. Okay.
Girls Incorporated,
okay.
And then being image being put on me in Girls Incorporated actually really destroyed me, because they painted this picture of me of being this ugly young lady, and that's not who I was. I actually was defending myself, but I didn't feel like I had to explain myself. I felt like defense is defense. And then as I grew up, life lifing. Right. I did accepted my fate to hell. I had in my early 20s. God was like, I'm not done with you. Right. And then I was like, but I'm done, because at this point, trying to be the good person is not getting me anywhere. And so from there, God knew that my signs. He got my attention 3 ways. And Pastor Calvin, who is going to always forever be my pastor, he was like, on Facebook, he just randomly jumped in my inbox and was telling me about my life. Yeah. And I'm like, how does some stranger know about my life? And I was like, ooh, creepy, it's a man, you don't know him. And then he invited me to Bible study. And from there, I took my chances with my sisters. Of course, I told her, hey, if I don't come out, y'all need to squat up and come get me. You
had a plan.
Like I had a plan. I don't know this man. And so when it was clear to go, I was like, okay. And they all came, and then that's when my life started to take its toll, and it did not take its toll for the better. Okay. And that's what a lot of people, when you seek in Christ, sometimes you automatically assume like, yeah, it's gonna get better. Right. It didn't. I really hit depression real bad. And then when I had my son, it didn't make it any better. And I gave up. That was it for me. I was doing the fashion shows and stuff for the Haitian community. And I quit. I was like, this is not worth it anymore. And then one day after having my son and going through how I was feeling, right, I was like, I'm bored. I need something to do. I gave up on fashion. I gave up on hair. I gave up on makeup. I gave up on everything that was my identity, But I was like, God, show me what you want me to do, because I don't know. Until this moment, I still don't know. I have no clue.
Listen, and I'm gonna tell you, because I have like these conversations with friends, with people that I just meet, where they will say that I'm inspiring them to do something, or they'll just say, how are you, you live in your light, and do you understand that you're encouraging people to do? I was like, listen, here's how I want to come really real with you. Right. I am still trying to figure it out. I lean to God every single day so that he can help me to figure it out. And when I say that, like, don't even look at me as someone who just can lead you on this perfect path to following God and all that. No, let me tell you, when I went through my comeback, which I still haven't shared to this day, but I will, all I know is God saw me through it. Right. And so that's why I always say, like, in order to make an effective comeback, you need God first.
All the time.
And if you get together with those right resources, but I figured out that I could have the right resources. I've always had the right resources right in my face. Right. Just didn't know how to use them. Right. And still navigating that to this day. But you get those right resources and you know how to use them effectively. And then you are like committed to putting in that work. Right. That is the formula for the dopest comeback in your life, if you consistently use that same model, those 3 things over and over. And so, Alexis, I interjected because you said a mouthful that I really want to unpack. I want to unpack it because I know that it is such a powerful message. I know there's a powerful message in it because I've sat through one of your fashion shows. And I also know, audience, those out there, she hasn't even gotten to the peak of it yet. I realize it, and we're gonna get there. But I've gone to your fashion shows, and I noticed that mental health is one of the themes of the jump off. You know, like that is the backbone to your story of traveling through fashion and you putting on display your hard work, and it comes, it's coming from your blood, your sweat, your tears, your doubt, and then your belief in you, and what God is going to do for you. So when we trace back mental health, and when we trace back those things that really trigger us or causes us trauma in our lives, it's always traced back to, not always, but more than likely it's going to be traced back to your childhood.
Yeah.
And so when I heard you say that you were characterized as a bad child,
I was.
That really struck a chord with me, because I come from an educational background, in being in leadership, but also being a teacher. And I can't tell you how important words are.
Right. And
to kids.
It was a teacher that failed me.
Yeah.
It was a teacher who said that I was going to amount to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in first grade, told me I wasn't going to amount to anything. And then I looked at the teacher and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to show you.
Mm-hmm.
And I did.
Mm-hmm. And she is. But at that time, like, kids, when they're young, they're so impressionable. And most kids really are seeking validation. Like, the teacher is the rock star of the classroom, is what I always try to get teachers to understand. And teachers really and literally can make or break a student. They can do it. Even when you come from a background of, I feel that I'm a supportive mother. Mm-hmm. I feel that I instill in my kids, like, you can do whatever you put your mind to. Don't let anyone break your spirit.
Right.
But I have physically watched instances where I felt like my kid's spirit was broken.
Right.
And they didn't want to try something that they weren't successful at. And it is a hurtful thing.
Right.
Because the more you build them up, it only takes a split second for someone to break them down. Mm-hmm. And so me hearing you say that you were characterized as being a bad child, I'm thinking about all those times that I've heard that from a teacher, or from a student who has told me that that's what their teacher stated and how it affected them. Like, it affects these kids. And so right here on this platform, if I say nothing else to you, just know that your words matter. And if you are in the educational field, if you are in a field that is supposed to be uplifting kids, you have an after school program, it takes one person in your program to bring somebody down, and then your program is like worthless until you correct your wrongdoing.
And a lot of the teachers, I already know, because these movies are very clear. Mm-hmm. The same children that you're speaking down on, 9 times out of 10 have problems at home.
Right.
And that school is the escape for them. Mm-hmm. So if you go to the school and you're not safe in your own home, and then you go to the school and you're not safe there, then where are you safe at?
Exactly. And you bring up such a great point. And those of you who sit through all these PDs at your school, when you are teachers and you are educational leaders, like, you are hearing it firsthand from someone who experienced this. And we're talking about someone who is successful now, somebody who's grown, but had to go through her own mental breakdown to get to the point of where she is right now. And so listen to what we're saying. Like, school is supposed to be a safe place for kids, right? And so that's what we're trained to do. We are trained to provide a safe haven for kids. And so when you're labeled that way, and then as you matriculated through school, because I heard you say things about fashion, I heard you say things about makeup, I heard you say things about hair. When you would go through these experiences and people would just shoot you down, and I know for a fact those bad kids that we call bad, they're seeking attention.
Right.
Like, they're seeking attention, they're seeking validation. They just want someone to be that champion for them. They want somebody to be their champion. And so you fought your way through it. I heard you say that.
I fought with
my
mama.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
My mama, one thing, and I don't play with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was my back, right or wrong. Yeah. She had my back. Yeah. And I can't say that, I'm not going to say I had it horrible to where financial. My mama spoiled me. Full transparency. I am a spoiled child.
Let me see what your sisters and your brothers are saying.
We are all
what are they saying?
I am a spoiled child, so she did give me what I want. Yeah. But again, I was missing my dad's love, though. Mm-hmm. But I did grow up with my father, and he was in my home, but I was still missing that. And
you gotta explain that. So how does that work? How do you?
It's when you have a father, and this is, don't come for me, people. This is full transparency.
Yeah.
The Bible speaks on generational curses and how your curse, because of the faults that you do, now becomes the faults of your children. And I think my father knew that. And so he tried his hardest to protect his children from the wrongs that he was doing.
Right.
And in the midst of doing that, he was not helping. He was actually hurting.
Gotcha.
And so with my father, and we are in a better space, and I love my dad, he broke me. He was the one who broke me.
Wow.
But he thought it was protecting me. He thought he was doing me a due diligence, like saying, hey, you know what? This is what is needed. I need you to be this way. Men aren't no
just
good.
like tough.
Like
just tough on
Like men are this way, stay away, But I was a tomboy, a girly girl tomboy. But I definitely like them 4-wheelers.
Listen,
imagine you imagine you riding 4-wheelers, and then when you're done, you come home, you get a whooping. You know,
for being in that light instead of being
around men,
prissy and
being around men, because he's trying to protect me from people like him. So, and then from there, I'm going to school like, okay, I'm protected. I don't see my daddy. Woo, I'm so excited. And then you got somebody else bringing me down. Like it's like you're no break. But I had my mom who was like, she's not having that. You can't talk about me. I was wearing heels at age 9.
Yeah,
I was wearing weave at age 9. The church hurt. Also said some stuff like, oh, I'm too grown. I got my hair done so early. I wear makeup early. I had acne real bad. They used to call me connect the dots. They used to call me moving mountains because the pimple will move from one face to the other. Yeah. I had those, and I started wearing makeup, and that's where makeup came in part. And I was wearing it so much to where I think, you know, at that time, makeup wasn't as hot as it was right now. A fake page was made about me on Facebook.
Goodness. At what age?
I think I was in 8th. It started in 8th grade.
Okay. And
then it worked its way into high school. Now, you know, people are buying veneers, right? I was told that I have horse teeth. You know, and they compared my picture with a horse and in my teeth on social media. And this was high school. And I didn't know who did it. I still don't know who did it. I have a clue. But those type of things. But I was wearing makeup to cover what I thought was ugly. You know? And when I dressed up because it made me happy. And it also told you what mood I was in. If I wore black, I'm in a dark season. If I wore colors, I'm in a happy season. So if I wore white, I'm really just want to be out of the world. I want to go. And I'm not going to lie and say I didn't want to die. Because I did. You know,
what made you feel that way? Was it just the culmination of all of the things that people said about you?
It was too much.
It was too much to handle.
I have, again, home, school, social media.
What was your friend life like?
Betrayal. You know, my definition of friends weren't their definition of friends. But don't get me wrong, these some good people. You know, there are some good people. We just, at that time, it was the wrong time.
Just weren't good.
It weren't at that moment, you know. And high school, I had a ride or die. For sure. I had 2. And one I fell out with, one I kept, you know. And I loved them both, you know. But I don't think the one that was the ride or die, like when I said she was riding, she didn't know what I was going through because I didn't know what I was going through. Yeah. So I started letting people go left and right. I didn't feel like I had to excuse me. I didn't feel like I had to explain myself. But then people are dropping left and right, and I'm okay. I'm like, I'm okay. But then God was like, I can't use you if you just dropping people left and right. Right. So.
Did you use when did you start getting into fashion? Because I know
I was being in it.
Some people, because a lot of people use that as an escape. And I'm hearing you say that you were like in a world like filled with negativity and kind of darkness, ugliness, you know, things that were happening to you. And a lot of people escape through their art. So when you would design, like, did you design? What did you do?
Designed.
Like, what did you do?
I don't design whenever. I'm just kidding. Let me stop. I started, all my parents' children are artists. We all know how to draw. How we drew, it was different, but we all knew how to draw. All of my brothers and sisters, the majority of them, we all sing. We all have a voice. I don't ask me to sing.
Listen, I was gonna say, let me tell y'all what's gonna happen at the end of this episode.
It ain't happening because I'm actually end up developing I used to sing in church all the time.
Yes.
But now I cannot sing. I start shaking. I start trembling because that's my anxiety.
Uh-huh.
You know,
y'all turn them lights down. Turn the house lights down. And let her go and sing.
I don't know if you know, I don't even like attention. You see my fashion shows, I don't like the light. It's too close to me. I like to be in the back with a folks, you know, so I'm
gonna tell you what I observe when you keep talking. I'm gonna tell you what I observe.
I'm like, okay, bye. But this time around, I think I was more focused on making this a success. I spent lots of money on it, and I did not have sponsorship. I didn't have no partners. Mm-hmm. It was myself who funded the whole show. And I spent a lot of money this time. I walk on faith this time, but I told God, I don't know if I can walk faith.
Listen, I heard you say that a multitude of times, and I'm gonna get to why you are saying that. But we gotta continue to peel back these layers, because I'm telling you, with so many different messages that I received from the first fashion show and then from this one as well. Mm-hmm. This one I think made it so much more clearer to me, and I started paying attention, and I'm like, yo, there's like a deeper story behind, you know, what she's doing. And that's where I started to get more and more interested in you. That's why I reached out to you for this interview. Just from the scenes, the story that the scenes told. And so I want to go back to when you were saying that you went to a point where you said it was 3 things that just made you just want to give up. And you said you got to the point where it's just like, I'm laying it out all on the line, like in your early 20s. I'm laying it out on the line, God. Like, I'm going to come to this Bible study. I'm going to come to this session with you. And if the pastor isn't talking where he needs to talk, I have my posse outside. Like, take us from that point. What happened after that?
So, when I had that moment where I actually was like, yo, God, I'm going to hell. It is what it is. I don't care.
And why did you feel that way?
Cause I'm be transparent. Haitian clubs, I was up in there, you know, and mm-hmm. I wasn't raised in them at all. So of course, and my mom was hurt.
So y'all, cause like you strict, like this is what I've heard, and this is
my mom is not that.
Okay. Okay, thank you for going ahead and just dispelling that. But I'm like your belief system, like, is it? So with different cultures, it seems like the Haitian culture just doesn't play. Like, listen, this is what you do. This is how a female is supposed to act. This is what a male is supposed to do. We have our roles. Like, you know, we're serious about God, about the religion, and you have to do these things. Or like you said, like you're like, I'm just I cast myself in my own hell. Like, what do you think it was, like, culturally?
I think Satan knew my potential.
Okay.
Satan knew my potential because
you just think it was an attack.
It was an attack on me, and I didn't realize it at that time, because you have to understand, like, I was singing in church, I was praise dancing in church. Okay. I was always, and nobody ever forced me to go to church. Mm-hmm. I willingly went to church, and so when I got to like high school and life started lifing, and then when you start to sin. Yeah. You're gonna reap what you sow, right. You know what I mean? Right. And so I read what I sow, and it was just like, to the point I was like, and then I got introduced to the compound life in college, and I was like, oh, this is nice.
What college did you go to?
I went to Valencia at first. I did not want a university. I was not paying them university fees.
Look, I understand.
And yes. So I was started doing that, and I'm in the club every weekend. Yeah. But I felt like I wasn't sinning. I felt like I don't know what these people saying anyways, because I've been in America so long, I don't even speak Creole or know half of the stuff they saying anyways. Yeah. And so I told this guy there in the club that I was like, I'm not sinning, I'm still a woman of Christ, and he just started busting out laughing.
Really?
Yes. And then there was a group message that was circulating, and I was brought up in that group message, but literally, I had homeboys in that group message. Oh. And so he's selling me out to the core. And at that moment, I was like, dang, is what he's saying true? Like,
well, what could you say? You were just going to the club? Because listen, girl, listen to me. I was in the club, not only on the weekends, but throughout the week. Like, I got that work done first, and then I was in the club.
I feel like I can reward myself,
right? Because I love music, and I love a great DJ. Like, when I say that, I don't say that facetiously. Like, I literally say it like I'm studying the DJ. Like, his next like his neck's cut, his neck scratch, how he's murdered. Like I literally look at that as a science because it truly creates a mood and a vibe in you. And so that's just my jam. And so,
but my dad was a musician, so it was already in my blood,
already in you, right?
So I love beats from the jump. It wasn't even from. You don't have to say anything. I listen to the beat,
right?
And so, but to a lot of Haitian people, you can't say you're a woman of morals and you're in the club.
Gotcha.
That's just not it. But I'm not Haitian though, because I've been in America all my life, but I'm putting myself in a Haitian environment where there are very judgmental people because of, i.e. the church I was in, very judgmental as well. And so from there, I was like, well, I guess I'm going to hell. It is what it is, you know, and then it took 3 signs. One, I went to the hair store, Sunny's hair store in Havendale. There was this girl there. She just randomly started talking to me. And she was like, yo, God say there's a calling on your life. And I was like, girl, I'm going to hell. And she was like, no, you're not.
Right.
I said, you don't even know me. She's like, yo, you come in this soul. There's a spirit about you that drawing you to me. I was like, I just think you just see me and just like have a conversation with me. That's just how it goes. And then I went to a mall, and then this lady, and this is true story, she came up to me. She said, there's a really strong feeling about you. And she's an Indian, and she has a little dot. And I'm scared of them people. I ain't gonna lie. Respectfully so, because they be speaking life, and I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
I don't want to know. So when she told me there's a strong spirit, she's like, do you want? I said, I don't want to know. You know, keep it to yourself type energy. Yeah. And then I had an African friend, and then at that time she was really in the church as well, and she started speaking in tongues and stuff like that in the party. And I was like, well, my cue to go.
In the party.
Okay. And I was like, well, that's my cue to go. Right. And she started, mind this, she can't even see me. She don't even know I'm leaving. She doesn't, like, because she's in a different room because her family ended up putting her in a different room. And she's like, tell Alexis to come back. First of all, how you know I left? Yeah. So they said, hey, Alexis, she's calling you. And she was like, you need to go back to church. God said that you don't belong here. You need to go back to church. And I was like, dang, 3 strike Armado. All I said, I needed was 3 signs. And
he gave them to you.
So I went back to the girl in the store to go tell her, like, yo, I'm going back. She was gone.
Oh, wow.
I ain't never seen her since.
Oh, wow.
And then that's when Pastor Calvin, my messenger, he wrote me. He was telling me about my life. And he's like, God's not done with you. And I'm like, okay. So he was like, come to my Bible study. He was been writing me. I just ignored it. He's like, just come to my Bible study. I was like, okay, I'm going to come. And I told my sisters, yo, we going. But I'm going in first. If I don't come back, we just call 911, get ready to throw down. So when I got to the Bible study, and it was really legit, I was going to him consistently in Lake Wells, like just consistently going to where from there my life started going down even worse.
Now, what's Calvin's last name?
Maron.
I had a feeling. Let me tell you something. Girl. Okay. When I first got into education and I started substitute teaching, I used to always sub for his algebra classes. We are sitting in a room right now where my son has been tutored by him. And it's like I know him. So it's like, this ain't no coincidence. I'm just like, wait a minute. And she keeps saying Minister and Pastor Calvin. And I'm like, and then, he offers to pray for people online. Like he does that. So I may need to be listening to some signs that I'm getting from you, because I didn't even know that's who you were talking about. And look at how things are like, okay.
And he was the first person that invested in my dreams.
Calvin.
My first event was a depression awareness event in Cypress Gardens, and it was towards the Haitian community. I had 105 people show up, and it wasn't organized at all. It was all over the place. Like it was just dysfunction, but people still got the message. But that's when my mom knew I had depression, and she started crying her eyes out. She's like, I did this, I did that, I did this. I was like, Mommy, this is beyond you at this point. This is all me and what I did and my traumas and my pain. She's like, but what can I do? I was like, there's nothing you can do. There's literally nothing. He was the first one to invest in the show and stuff like that. And then from there, I just,
Wow. I did not even know that's who you were talking about. Look, Pastor Marion is the business. And he really is just truly and genuinely a great man, a great man of God. And so just shout out to Pastor Marion, Pastor Calvin.
His church is in Wesley Chapel.
Okay.
Now,
listen, and you still go?
I go here and there. That's just too far.
Yeah. I was like, good Lord, you still go because I know he's moved. Yeah.
Well, I work in Tampa, so because I work in Tampa, I don't want to keep going to Tampa every day. You know, so I do dedicate my weekends to just park my car at home. But when I can go and I have the energy to go, I do go. Like,
awesome.
You know, so,
awesome.
Yeah.
So listen, I know that your fashion shows center around the theme of mental awareness, mental health. And I thought that was just, for me, because I know maybe other fashion shows, they pick up a theme or a cause that they would love to spotlight with their art. And so when you did mental awareness, you talked about having depression. When were you diagnosed with having depression, and then what triggered your depression?
I knew I had depression. I didn't get diagnosed. And I got diagnosed when I was pregnant. And then, but I just knew something was off. Yeah. I just knew I'm not normal. Like, I'm just not your normal person. And, like I said, I went on spiral. Nobody understood what I was going through. I didn't know what I was going through. Right. And so I'm friends dropping left and right.
I was going to say, you dropping friends.
Left and right. Don't care to have a conversation either. Like, it is what it is. It's my way or the highway. And then there was this thing say, people kept saying, you know who you are, you know how you are, you know, and that was my trigger.
That's a trigger, yeah.
That was my, who am I? What am I?
Girl, let me tell you.
Because I don't even know who I am. So who am I? So that kind of was like very, and if you was a friend that ever said that, I'm letting you go. Because who am I? Besides being a good friend to you, who am I? Right. And so, you know, you're difficult to talk to. I'm the most easiest person to talk to. I say what's true that I feel is true. A sin is a sin. It is what I sin. I know I sin. Like, it is, but I'm not gonna sit here. Like, girl, you fine, right, girl. Like, you'll be all right. And like, no, you're not, because you may get that sin. You may walk out the door and God give you a whooping for it. Right. But He still love you the same. And that's just that was my approach. But I was too blunt. And that's where I started losing is the bluntness. So now I'm more sympathetic. Okay. Like, at first, I feel the room. Before I speak, I kind of like listen to you before I speak. I sometimes go in too deep. According to someone, that's what they said. It's like, you're so deep all the time. It's not our. I said, well, I don't know. I just don't want to be the person to trigger anybody. I just don't want to be that person. It's just because I know what it felt like when I was triggered. And then with the fashion shows, this was my last fashion show dedicated to mental health. Yeah. Only simply because I had a breakdown. Yeah. Doing the show and this show and
this last show.
This last show. Yeah. I had several. I had a panic attack. And I was like, God, what am I trying to prove? Like, where this coming from? Like, what did you think you were trying to prove? Like, did you? Because you had your first one, and we'll definitely get into that one. But with this one, because I remember you saying that the night of the show, but I didn't think you were playing. Like, I knew there was some truth behind it because you laid it on the line about how difficult it was, and you almost didn't make it with this fashion show. But what were you personally trying to prove? Honestly, I felt like I was trying to save people, but how can I save people when I'm still trying to save myself? The first one, I felt like with the models, there was like a sisterhood and stuff like that. Yeah. This time, not so much. And I don't do well with people talking about people. I don't. And me neither. And I don't do well when I'm being attacked.
Because I'm like, you talk about me too. Just tell me what you don't say about me. That's how it is for me.
It's not even that. I feel like as women, we gotta stick together. Yeah. We already gotta deal with men degrading us and putting us in this box that we're not supposed to even be in, because we're really supposed to be flourishing queens and stuff like that. Yes. But we gotta deal with men attacking us, but then now we gotta deal with women attacking us too. And it's to the point where I'm like, wait a minute, it's not that serious. Wait a minute. I just don't do the energy. Like, I'm gonna tell, if you ask me a question, I'm gonna tell you, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gossiping. You just asked me a question. Right. But this one, I was like, God, what am I doing? Because at this point, I'm having several panic attacks. But I had a friend of mine, Tay Styles.
I keep hearing amazing things about you, Tay. I'm gonna have to get you on this couch too, because look, I girl, your name is ringing, and I'm like, even the person that I was sitting next to, she came from Tampa, and she was like, I came to support, the fashion show, and my friend is back there, she's doing the hair or whatever. And I said, who's your friend? She was like, Tay, like, because I guess Tay's her hairstylist too. And I was like, okay. Tay,
she did a couple wellness checks. Just because she was like, Lex, you okay? And I'm like, do I tell her I'm okay or do I lie? Because I felt like I don't want everybody to know this side of me. To be honest with you, I don't want anybody.
Because it feels vulnerable.
Yeah, I don't. And on top of that, I don't want to be the girl to know that you work with. She's gonna have a couple breakdowns.
Right.
You know, that's just to the point where you just gotta. I gotta learn how to cut that back. I'm working on it. And she was like, Lex, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And then you had Lamar checking up on me. He was like, Lex, you fine? I'm like, yes, I'm fine. Or I'm not okay. I'm not okay.
Yeah,
yeah. And I have thank God for my family. I have very good support families. Fabian, Jenny, Sarah, my family in general, Al. It's a whole bunch of them. If I ain't say a name, I'm sorry. Everybody. My mama. But they were like, they don't see that side. They don't see that breakdown side because they don't really like to see me in that place. But you have Tay and Lamar who's like, you know, okay with talking to me, that side of me, then I'll talk to that side. But my other side, who was very helpful and helped, like, you know, the project manager of the show, which is Tasha, she is also a part of the team as well. Yeah. She, you know, they don't see that side. They see the street business side, while the other two just saw the breakdown side. I don't know why I allowed it to be that way, but they did. And then when I got to the building, I'm like, God, I went bigger. I hope I don't.
Yes, you did.
I hope I don't.
Yes, you did.
And I was hoping that I do not regret it. I was like, bigger means emptier spaces. And so I was like, I'm going to trust the process, Lord. You got me this far. Yeah. And then the rules of the building. It's like, God. So I was like, goodness, I had to cut some stuff out that I wanted to put in the show.
Yeah. This time around.
So hopefully they get with the program. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But so I had to do that. And then that building struck a nerve because that is also the same building when I did try to model. They were talking bad about me. And so it was just like I'm walking and I'm like, all right, God, you brought me to the same place that added on to the hurt where I was setting my fate to hell.
And you tried. This was like where you wanted to be in a modeling show there.
Yeah, I tried modeling just to help boost my self-esteem. Yeah. But it broke it even more. Yeah. And so
and he took you right back to that same place.
Took me right back to that same place. Yeah. And similar faces. It's full transparency. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna see what you're doing with this. And the show was successful. I was stressed out real bad.
She keeps saying, I'm gonna let you finish your story. But I'm gonna tell you from what I saw as a patron, and I know I heard it.
Unique has the voice recorded. He didn't put it in, but he heard some stuff. Okay. And I don't cuss anymore, so he probably was laughing because I was like flabbergasted. Oh darn it! Like those type of because
all kind of words
but it wasn't no cuss words. Right. So he's probably like, who uses those words? And so I was like, God, this is to me. Yeah. The show did not go well. To me. To others, girl, you did that. To me, I was like, girl, I don't know if you saw what I saw, but it did not happen the way I thought. I mean, I couldn't even put the projector down 100% because I didn't know how to operate the projector. And so you could see through a little bit. Oh, was I upset? I was so upset. And so I was like, this is it. And then my mom was like, oh, this was great. And I was like, you think so? Yeah. And I just realized I just don't like praise.
Okay, so we are here. So we are finally here. Well, listen, I'm going to give you my 2 cents. Okay. After I ask you 2 questions. Okay. Number 1, what was it that God told you, showed you, made you feel that allowed you to continue to go?
I don't know.
You just did.
I just be obedient.
You just are obedient.
I said, God, if it's you, you're going to prove that it's you. If it's not you, you're also going to prove it's not you. So the moment that that I did have people in there a lot, that was God. Because again, if it's not him, he's going to prove that it's not him. And do I feel like, I asked God, now do you still want me to continue now that I fulfilled what you told me to fulfill? And that's where we at. So there may not be a show next year.
Okay. And then my second question, before I give my my personal opinion, I want you to finish this sentence with one word. Fashion to me is
nothing.
Tell me why.
Because again, that's what I use to be somebody else.
Okay.
Makeup is what I use to be somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Clothes, though I was expressing myself, I wasn't heard and I wasn't seen.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
at the end of the day, I like fashion. I don't know why. It just come naturally. I could do something and be like, oh, this works. You know? But I'm not a fashion stylist. And it just works. It just works out. So right now, where I'm at, it's nothing. Mm-hmm. Does it mean that it's going to be something 4 or 5 years from now? I don't know. But at this moment, because I used to wear makeup every day, heels every day, dress up every day. Now I put the makeup on in the car before I got here.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I don't wear makeup every day anymore. My mama hates that. I don't dress up every day. I used to dress up in church every day, Sunday, dressed up, church ready. Now I'm like, come as you are. If it's jeans, it's jeans. If it's a mess up wig today, it's just gonna be a mess up wig day. Yeah. The old Lex was not giving you that service at all. She woke up at 5 a.m. make sure she was straight. Lashes was always done. Nails was always done. The nails not done right now. And so and I think because those things, they are positive things, but the Satan can also use it as demonic. And at that moment, when I was going through what I was going through, it was demonic.
Okay. What's filling you up right now?
The love that God has for me, to be full transparent. He never gave up on me, and this is like make me cry. Just say why.
It's okay. I got you.
He never gave up on me, even when I gave up on myself. And then nobody can come to me and tell me God not real, because I have gone through the storm. And when I say the storm, humiliation, all what's in the Bible when he said you're going to go through it. I went through it. And when I see myself come out of it, I felt like I was going to die before I even came out of the situation. Yeah. And the fact that I didn't die, and the fact that I came out even stronger, and I'm still fighting, and I'm still punching the air, or whatever the case may be, it's him. Nothing else. Nothing granted, my son is everything to me. Yeah. But the moment that I couldn't hear God's voice anymore, I think I went more rogue. Yeah. I think I went more crazy. I was like, God, why are you giving up on me? No, you just can't leave me right now. You brought me here. Don't leave me. And he went silent. He went silent for a whole year. I was like, he hate me. He hate me. He hate me. I had a friend, my friend Jenny. She's like, no, I don't think he hates you. Right. I don't think you see what he's doing. And I was like, he hate me. He hate me. He hate me. Why is he doing this to me? And then he had to bring the story Job.
I was just about to tell you, listen, give us a word, bring it back. So you heard what I said, and I didn't even have to say it. So he gave you Job.
He gave me Job.
Okay.
Then he gave me Abraham and Sarah. The two things that I was going through the most was in those scriptures. And mind this, I wasn't heavy in reading the Bible. I'm gonna be full transparent. I just hated reading the Bible. It's just so big, right? Yeah, she said so big. What a book so big. So but I read those though, and I know God allowed Satan to attack Job to prove that Job was one of the strongest, and he did not fold. Yeah. And I just felt like it was my time. That was my story.
And that's good. And that's deep too, because a lot of people, and you're speaking to what I literally just had this conversation with someone today, and I was telling them, because they were asking me about my next steps with life, with things, and I said, I'm just waiting to hear God's voice. I literally cannot tell you what's next, and I'm in a space right now where I'm not so much in a rush to be able to answer that question. I'm just not, because I prayed for where I am now, and I'm here. I'm getting to do things that I prayed for. And so I know that God is elevating me, but I honestly just want to hear his voice. I honestly just want whatever his purpose is for me. I feel like, I'm in my 40s now. It's time to just live in my true purpose and my true destiny. And so I'm more so taking me out of the midst right now. And for some reason, I just feel like that's just very important. Right. So I was just telling someone, I just need for God to speak to me. Right. And I just posted the other day, and I was like, you ever feel like you're this close to your next? It's so like close. I can't even finish that sentence, because I can't tell you whether I'm saying you're this close to your next blessing, or you're this close to finding what your purpose is. but I feel like, you know, like I feel like I'm so close to just really feeling like I'm living a purposeful life according to where God wanted to take me.
Yeah.
And I feel it. So I know it is coming. I have desires. I know what I want, but I also just want to have it be whatever God wants for me.
Right.
And ultimately I know it is going to be that. And so I press forward, and you know, it's like I know what I'm good at. I know what people say that I'm good at. I know all of that, but it's like your will be done. You know, at the end of the day, I'm good with your will being done. God, just tell me what I need to do. So it's like when you say you didn't hear that voice, I'm like, I'm waiting to hear God's voice too. Okay? And so, you know, there have been things that you shared that have been very vulnerable. And I know that it will touch and spark the next person who's listening, who will see this interview. And you know, that little girl, that little boy who are being described as being bad and all of these things, it will wake up a teacher who carries those words day to day when they shouldn't, and just spark a thought, maybe I shouldn't do that. You know, there are serious implications to that, you know, and to any child that even feels that way, just know that you are great, that you are destined for greatness, like you are God's child, you know what I mean?
Right.
And just simply because of that, you are destined for greatness, right?
Right.
And so, which leads me to the greatness that I saw in you. First and foremost, I'm not even gonna address something that you said. I'll talk to you about that off camera so I can see if I'm in the right neighborhood. But I will say, fashion shows, when I graduated from college, fashion shows were like one of the main events that I loved hosting.
Right.
Because I love fashion. Like, I was a creative. My son is creative. Both of my sons sitting here are creatives. They will draw you anything, and I used to just color all day. Like, I can tell you all the colors from the crayon box, and I used to just design. I would design all of these fashions. Like, I just truly, that was my jam. That's how I escaped. Like, I was a straight A student. I didn't have problems in school. I loved school, but that was my escape. Like, I really thought I really wanted to be a fashion designer. And I went to school at the Academy, the International Academy of Design and Technology. I should know that tuition that I just added like $10,000 per semester. Like, what? Okay, so, but that's facts and that's a true story. But I did a semester. I did half a semester. I did a half a year at the International Academy of Design of Technology and Fashion in Tampa. And so I was like, okay, no, it's not for me. Like, I like styling. Yeah. My mom can sew because I can't sew worth a lick, really. That is one skill that I wish I had under my belt, but I just can't. Like, I can design it. I can tell you how I want it made. I can create it, all of that. But to sew, when I say that was gonna make me have a mental break, I was like, girl, my mama sold every one of them assignments. Yeah, I can say that now. But I designed it, but she sold it now. So when I graduated, you know, with my broadcasting degree, my favorite events to host were fashion shows because of what I just shared there. And it's like, I love to see people come dressed, looking fancy and all of that. But she said something that really, really, really caught my attention and that I really want to put towards you guys. Like, fashion is a catalyst to make you feel better. Like, when I'm looking good, I feel good. Right. So it is an aesthetic that will give you a moment in time to feel that way. Right. But once you take those clothes off, once you just have to be you, bear you, are you still loving what you see? And that is really the true testament of who you are, like how you feel about yourself. And so you were saying that fashion is like nothing to you because it doesn't do anything for you. Like it is a I guess a
planning does.
the planning does and the structure of it because of that project managing.
The battle of the show does.
The background
and
of
then
it.
Overcoming it is but the fashion.
Yeah, but the fashion is it.
No
that is so interesting. Like I've never heard someone say it like that.
If you can sit here and see me walk down a runway with a black hat on, a PD'OR shirt, and some short jeans, is it really the fashion? Because a person who's in the fashion ain't walking out like that.
Right. I feel you now. And so, listen, my experience. I went to your first fashion show. I went to her first fashion show. She has an amazing way of marketing her fashion shows. Because I didn't know who Alexis was. I'm like, who is this Astaire person? And I would just click through her pictures and I'm looking at the clothing and I'm like, oh yeah. Oh, the pearls. Oh yeah. Like the way I'm like the flower dress. I'm looking at aesthetic, right? I'm looking at all of the aesthetics. The marketing was on point. Didn't know her from a can of paint last year at all. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to this fashion show because I haven't been to a good fashion show in a long time. So I went to your fashion show that was at the Well. And I was like, okay. Like, if somebody ended up calling me on stage, I was like, this is not even my show. Like, why did y'all call me on this girl's stage? But I was on your stage.
Unfortunately, I can't see none of
that. Listen, but I had a good time. When I say I had a great time from the way you had it set up, from the vendors, because that soul food was so good. I still remember in the corner by the bathroom, whoever that soul food place was, you did a great job from the desserts. And I'm just saying that, like, the vendors were great. But the production of the show, like when I go to a fashion show, I look at everything. Like I look at the setup, I look at the production. I'm looking at the models. Yes, and my niece, Aaliyah Anderson, is my niece, and she modeled in your fashion show. Right. She didn't model this year. I'm gonna have to talk to her about that because I was looking forward to seeing her. But
she got sick.
Okay, we'll give her a pass off of that one. But she modeled in your first fashion show, so that was the icing on the cake too. And I wanted to come and support her too. But I liked it. I was like, okay. Aside from the other fashion shows that I've seen in Polk County, we have a contender. Yeah. We have another contender. All right, so let's see what. So I'm watching you, and I'm like, well, I wonder if she's gonna do it, next year. Now I will say one thing that I did recognize in that show was the Haitian love. Like I'm like, okay, well I'm
Haitian love.
Listen, I'm just saying,
my family or Haitian love.
It could have been your family. You just said you had 14 people. It probably was your family. But I'm just saying. So I'm just saying. So I'm like, okay, because I'm telling you, I'm getting, because I was trying to do my first year podcast anniversary live show, and I'm like, okay, people are coming to support her. I love the way that she did that. Like this is amazing. And so this year, I don't know what it is that you were going through, but when you tell me that this fashion show wasn't even where you wanted it to be, and that I am looking at what it was, I'm gonna tell you. Now, I have been to several fashion shows, and the fashion shows that I see televised, you have your fashion shows where if you're going to, a Dior fashion show, if you're going to a Gucci fashion show, if you're going to whatever fashion show, mainstream fashion shows, that it's just going to be a walkthrough. Y'all ain't finna get nobody like really twirling and all that. It is just really the aesthetic of the clothing. The model is basically just the hanger. If they want to do some wild makeup, if they want to do a wild hairstyle, that, whatever it is, right, it's going to add to the whole look. But in terms of you just sitting, you'll be kind of parallel in seats, and they're just going to do a straight runway, or they may do like the little zigzag in the audience. It may be something, like how Kanye likes to be all creative and all of that.
Love his
but it's just going to be, it's just gonna, like the production of it. Yeah. So it's just going to be like, you're coming, you're going to be glammed up, but you're coming to just see a straight runway, but it's going to be professional. It's going to be professional with the production, from the lighting to the stage to the sound to everything, but you're not going to get a host. And I'm like, that's one thing that I love about our fashion shows, because you are going to get a host with their own personality. Mm-hmm. You are going to get models that have their own personalities, and they are going to sell that personality with the clothing. Mm-hmm. And it's going to speak to the crowd because they have their own fan clubs that's coming out to the fashion show. And you're going to look at the fashions, right? And then sometimes a lot of fashion shows that I was going to, there were really no designers there. It was just, we want to have a fashion show, but this is the look that we're going through. And it was some great people who could put together the fashion, who could style it, but it's like, you go buy it. Like, this is the theme of it. You go buy it. Right. But then
it's really hard to find designers.
It is. And it is. I'm glad. If you like, it is very hard to find designers. And so, like, as of late, you know, the last probably 10 years, I started to see fashion shows where people were able to get designers. And I'm like, okay, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I love this. And it was fashion shows before that had designers as well. Right. But this is what I loved about your fashion show. I hadn't seen this type of production in a long. I'm trying not say in a long time, but honestly, there was one fashion show that was a hair show / fashion show in Orlando. Okay. And it's a huge fashion show that goes on. Fashion show? I can't. It's been so long ago since I had to participate in it, but it's huge. But the production on that one is immaculate, and it's great. You feel like you paid your money's worth for that ticket. Right. But when I walked into your fashion show, Alexis, like, I just don't want her to undercut herself with anything, because I'm excited. I'm not pushing you to do a part 3 or jump off 3, but what I'm saying is, oh my God, if this is not like the pinnacle of like what you wanted to do, that just gives me so much more excitement. Because when you walked in, the stage set up, the way that she had the audience set up, the way that you had like the pit with the photographers, the videographers, and then like the VIP section with the couches. And yes, we're not talking about that screen, girl. We saw the screen, but I promise you, we weren't even paying attention to what we could see, because then she had 2 full screens where everything was projected, like the different designers were projected on the long screens. The DJ, like, it told a story, and I was like, this is the type of fashion show that I have been waiting to go to. It had your host, it had your DJ, it had all of the elements, and it had the fashions, y'all, and it had the models. And I'm giving you your kudos as someone who loves to go to fashion shows. It just was a great mix of just straight runway mixed with fun and personality.
Yeah, the feeling of putting a smile on people's face as well when you're not smiling also is a great feeling in the strangest way. So
yes,
it's like, you know, but again, these things cost.
They do, and I heard you say so. And so I try to give you, not just to do that, but I'm here for it. If you can bring us a fashion show like that, which I'm glad is what she's saying, because it's like, I can tell you all day what I want. Girl, I loved it when you had that, but as someone who has had to pay for a show, I'd be like, girl, you better come sit in this seat. Just come sit in this seat and you'll be fine. Just a seat. Right. That's all I want to pay for is just a seat, because I heard you say you didn't have anyone else that sponsored it. You paid for it yourself.
Why did you go there? Also, because I believe in myself. At the end of the day, like, you don't believe in me, I don't believe in you. You know, and I have, like I said, my team is great. From Tasha, from Jenny, from Fabian, Shay, all the Tay not even a part of my team, but the fact that she was willing to like just jump on and like, I got you, whatever. You know, I love the energy. And Tay did sponsor her hairstyles and stuff like that.
Awesome. But, which were amazing. Yes. Which were amazing.
And so, but I come out of pocket because it's like, you don't stop no show. Like, at the end of the day, you don't want to do it, that's fine. You want to do it, that's also fine. At the end of the day, if it's God ordained, it's going to happen. And that's just what it was, you know. And like I said, I had to cut back a lot of stuff. That's not, so imagine, and I had a budget I was supposed to stick to. Yeah. And then that budget done went. It was like, wait, and I'm like, I don't care, and then the project manager's like, Lex, you passed it a long time ago. And I was like, well, okay, and then keep going.
Just kept going,
kept going to where I had to tell myself, okay, God, is it enough? He's like, yeah, this is enough. And even the day of the show, I got hit with a bill that wasn't supposed to get hit with. And so, because the stage, I'm thinking it's, you know, I had the vision, which was that.
Right.
I thought he quoted me for that. He did not quote me for that. So,
Lord.
So that was another add-on, and you know, it was just great. And then DJ Reggie coming through the way that he did, his his hosting skills is like horrific. Like, he just kept asking me, am I okay too? That's another person kept asking me, am I was okay?
Yeah.
And I just love that. And Z did really phenomenal. She did a really good. And my whole thing is, I don't like to I like to support businesses. So, like, one year you will see one host, doesn't mean you're going to see that other host next year. But it doesn't mean that host did bad. It's just, I like to just be versatile. Switch it up sometimes the way I would like to be doing. Like, you know, give me an opportunity, give me a chance. And I just feel like, I love that. You know, so you do that for everyone. So that's the whole goal about it. And then the whole modeling experience is supposed to uplift these women, because a lot of models do have depression. They don't tell you, but they do. And a lot of them was going through something or did go through something and stuff like that. And it also helped them just speak out on their depression, because, again, depression is frowned upon, and especially in the Haitian community. It's not something you want to say. So.
Well, you said it. You said it. And you made that a cornerstone of your show. I love how you did that. Like, you had someone to come in and directly speak about mental health awareness, gave their own testimony about, you know, the thoughts of suicide, and was brought to God. And I know that it did speak to a lot of people in the audience who struggle with it, because, and especially in the African American community, it's like you feel like it's taboo to talk about it. Don't want to talk about it. You're ashamed to admit it. But listen, it is no shame in admitting that you need help, because the one thing that you do need is your mental health. Okay. And so if you are struggling with anything regarding mental health, I will make sure that I put numbers there. I have a great psychologist, a great psychiatrist that you can speak with, and I will drop their information in that chat, because yes, those are people that God created to help with the situation. But I will tell you that you do not want to go through that journey without God. Okay. That is the number one source that you want to go to first. But then if you need professional help, then you definitely get that professional help. So, Alexis, if there's anything that you want to leave the audience with, something that you want to say, the photographer's going to take pictures of us.
I want to say thank you for everyone that have and is supporting me. I really do appreciate it. And to also understand, I was vulnerable tonight, to not use it against me.
Please don't.
And you know, so I want to be treated the same that before you even knew my story. So thank you guys.
I'm gonna interject for 1 second. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I am saying thank you, because I'm literally sitting next to someone who you verbally said how I feel. And so for you to say that, it helps me a lot, because I try to be so strong, and it's like, no, I don't want to be vulnerable in front of you, because if I definitely don't feel like you are for me, I definitely don't want to be vulnerable for you. If I feel like you're going to use my vulnerability against me, I don't want to share my vulnerable spaces with you. And there are so very few people that I can be vulnerable with. And so for you to share that, and you feel comfortable enough to share that on my platform, I don't treat that very lightly at all. I see that as like God working through me. I really do, because you could have sat on this couch and you didn't have to say any of that. You know, you could have gave a bow to it, how you want it to be wrapped up in. And the beauty and the beauty is in the struggles of that comeback. And you seem so strong right now. Like you didn't go into like your job as a project manager, but I can tell that's where you get your love from. I can tell that's what you really, really love to do. And so I'm so thankful that you have that and you found that, because it lights you up. And I'm like, I love to see people, you know, lit up. And so I just wanted to share that with you, and just to say thank you for doing that. And so you are now part of my jazzy crew.
Yes.
Now part of my jazzy crew.
Okay.
So this does not have to be your last time being here. And just know that I look forward to supporting you in whatever ventures you have coming. And if you have none that you desire to do, that's okay too. I'm gonna just say hey to you on Facebook or Instagram and be like, hey, I like what you got on, girl.
I gotta get back to that, you know. And then another thing, jump off of depression. I just don't put the rest. So that's what
that's good to know. I absolutely love that.
And so that's why it's not called PD'OR Fashion Show. It's called Jump Off Fashion.
The Jump Off Fashion Show. See, we got little tidbits and stuff. We know. You heard it here first. I see people giving you your flowers.
Thank
people are saying hi, Lamar. I did I'm kind of trying to see. Lamar, I did see that you were watching, and she did give you your flowers. So if you weren't watching at that particular time, like, I even think that you're even more dope now. Because, I mean, for you to call and check on her, that's amazing. And you were just a part of the show. So that just shows more so of the genuine person that you are. So listen, this has been episode 114 of the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast. Thank you guys for hanging in there with me. Make sure that you follow, you subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, IG, and all of your podcast platforms. That's at Jazzy Conversations with Jazz. That's JAZZIE Conversations with Jazz. And I will be back next Monday with episode 115. If you know somebody who you think has a dope comeback story, send them my way at jazzyconversationswithjazz@gmail.com. If you need a superb host for your event, or you would like for my podcast to broadcast live at your event, hit me up at that same Gmail address. And if you want to advertise your business or your service, come partner with me, and I would love to do that for you. So until next time, make sure that you understand that now is the time for a dope comeback. All gold diggers are welcome. That's GOAL. I'll see you later. Y'all have a good night.
Should broadcasting.
See you later.
Okay.
Okay, so don't tell me.
Yeah, that one. Sorry, what? There you go. I think it's high.